Hello, I'm Duke. We needed some detectable wheel sets, resistor wheel sets for rolling stock on our layout at the club, and there were not any available. Supply chain, all that good stuff. So we decided to make some. Here's a little short video. I'll apologize for the setup. I didn't intend to make the video, so there are a few scenes you can't see everything I'm talking about, but I try to fill it all in. Anyway, hope it helps. Thanks. Here are the resistor wheel sets, the detectable wheel sets that we'll be making. We tried to order some of these, but they just weren't available. They register 15K, measured with my ohmmeter. So I got some 15K surface mount resistors, chips, extremely small. They are, the ones I got came in roll form. Obviously they're built to be used on a machine that I know nothing about, and they're a little hard to manipulate. The wheels that I am using are metal wheels, obviously. They have two metal wheels, a metal axle. One of the wheels is bonded directly to the metal axle. The other one has a black insulator, and that makes the resistance infinite overload between those two wheels without our little resistor installed. Here's the wheel with the insulator side down. I take the Dremel tool with cutoff wheel and low speed. I'm just roughing up the bottom of that wheel. And on the axle, just roughing up a little bit of it. And I've found that that creates some little ledges that allow that resistor to seat on something. Made it a lot easier. It, oh good grief, quadrupled or more my production of these things. So here we are, we're set up, and we have the test lead on here. And all that does is just tell me when I've got a good contact. And I found a few things that help. I'll kind of explain those as I go through. So I'm going to unwrap one of these. I don't think you want a pile of them out in front of you because I've lost several. If you drop them on the floor, you will not find them. Okay, if you can see that little thing. I'm going to pick it up by the side, and I'm going to set it kind of right on those little ledges that I just created at an angle to where it bridges both the axle and the wheel. And if you'll notice, with it just setting right there, I've now got a reading of 15K, 14.9. So that's just what I want. Now we just want it to stay there. So I've got some medium super glue. I tried the thick, thinking that it might hold it in place, but all it does is just stick to anything that you're trying to set that little resistor with. So I just set the resistor in place, make sure that it's still showing the correct reading. Then just take a little bit of this super glue, kind of put it in the middle of the axle, and let it run down, and put a drop on the base of that resistor. Sometimes it floats that resistor a bit and you'll lose continuity. Right now the meter is still showing 15.1, so I take a little push pin and kind of try to seat it just a little bit better. I think 15.1 will work, but why not have it the best you can? Okay, I've got a reading of 14.9 right now. So I am going to put some accelerator on that. And just a little, barely a squirt. And I'm going to drink a little bit of coffee. Soak up a little of that excess. Give that a few seconds to set up. Now if you notice, we've gone into overload again on the meter. So I'm just going to take that pin and push that just a bit, trying to get it back to where it was reading before. And this one is not cooperating. I'm going to try to adjust this camera where you might be able to see both things at once. Okay, we're back in overload. And if I barely push this, it'll go back to the 14.9. But I want it to stay there. I think I'm going to try, since this has already got some activator on it, I'm going to try to drip another bit of this super glue down on it. And hopefully it'll stay put. So I'm going to let that sit there a few minutes and then I'll test it again. Okay, it's been a couple of minutes. We still got a good reading. And I think we're good to go. I'm going to unclamp it. And then I'm going to set it over here with the rest of them. And I'm going to line them up and test them. Okay, set one. I believe these are the ones, the one that we just did. 14.9. 14.9. 14.9. 15. 15. 14.9. 14.9. and 14.9 after it quits bouncing. So we have got 8 wheel sets. Okay, I wanted to give you a look at the setup that I'm using to test this with. We just have an ohm meter, multimeter, set on an appropriate resistance setting, the leads, and because I couldn't find my clips, I just took a pair of alligator clip leads. Polarity doesn't matter here, we're just measuring resistance. And I set the wheel set in this alligator clip. One of the leads is measuring across the axle. The other lead is measuring across the insulated wheel. Just clip that down there while you're working on it. And you see when I clipped it, it came back to show that 15K across that wheel that we built. And when I disconnect it, it goes back to infinite. Another test that I do on these, just to make sure they work, I have a section on my layout that has detector circuits on it, and I just place the wheel. You can see it go red. Pull the wheel off, goes back to green. Good to go.